Welcome into the historical moment, first episode of I'm your host, Cardale Jones, joined with co-host DeVier Posey and Boom Herron. So first and foremost, guys, we've been throwing this around for the last 2.5, probably almost 3 years about getting together, creating a platform to really just share experiences, bring some things to the light, have some cool guests in, and that's 2024 right now. What kind of inspired us, or what inspired you guys to say this is the time? Like, why now?
I would say honestly, bro, it was just obviously we had the time now, you know. Well, I honestly, we really don't have the time, but we making the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just good because we have so much to talk about, and I think we us three can relate to each other from, you know, a lot of different experiences that we went through playing ball, you know, business, off the field, on the field, and it's just a great time.
Yeah, man, I believe it's needed, man. A lot of phone calls come into my phone about, you know, what I think about this. Can you come to this event? Can you speak here? Can you do this? The radio platform, the pass with football. And, you know, we've all been approached to do pods, and they've been great opportunities, but ain't nothing like your own platform.
For sure.
And ain't nothing like keeping it a buck. Keeping it 100.
Keeping it a buck.
Yeah, man.
I mean, yeah.
So I'm excited to really dive into some good conversations with y'all. I think anytime we link up, whether it's at an event, you know, whether we kicking it, whether we working out, you know, whether me and Boom doing something, man, we getting these deep, you know, debates, and it's like, man,
we shooting a podcast.
We need a camera. So it had to happen, man. It was needed, man, for sure.
For sure. I feel the same way. Looking at all of our lives and careers on and off the field, like Boone had hit on, we have shared a lot of similar experiences, and we got a lot of great insight on so many different things outside of our sport. And I know for me personally, why now is just experiencing media the last couple of years, getting more comfortable on camera, being someone involved in a lot of different spaces, and being someone not just the youth.
What spaces you all in? Let them know, man.
I mean, you got the NIL space. You got consulting with different collectors around the country space. That's still basically NIL. You got the media world. You still got the athletic world working with student athletes all around the country. So I think when you're in these certain spaces and people start to continue to see your name brought up in different lights and having certain characteristic traits, you are naturally looking up to. Right, it's just like in sports how we used to play. Well, the kids used to look up to us. I mean, I know growing up, you guys are only really a few years older than I am, but going to the games, I looked up to you guys. Right,
of course you did.
Yep.
Here
you
go.
was definitely my son.
But, my oldest boy.
I just think the experiences that we have had, and then the impact that we have on people, have brought a different perspective on things, and I think we view things very alike. We carry ourselves very alike, and I think that's why, even though we didn't play with each other, as far as on the field, I know we spent some time in Buffalo together. That's what made this, I guess, this relationship more organic than just getting three people together to do a show.
Yeah, and just to piggyback what you were saying, I think our show will be more authentic, if that makes sense, like more real. More keep it a buck, you know what I'm saying? Keeping it real, because, you know, there are a lot of shows, you know, people talking about, you know, the Buckeyes and stuff like that, but this is more so.
Yeah, this is not a Buckeye specific show.
We're gonna touch on the Buckeyes.
We're gonna touch on a lot of the athletic world, you know, things that's going on in society, things that are going on in the business world, because you know, we say this term all the time, you know, more than an athlete, and we have opinions about more things just than who can, make a 3-pointer or who can score a touchdown. So,
well, I mean, like you said, we're in the real world now. You know what I'm saying? There's the sports world and there's the real world. You know what I'm saying? I think we all have similar experiences, with what's going on in the real world now, especially.
I wanted to ask you, what are some challenges with the transition that y'all experience from football into the real world, and what are some of the benefits, which I would say, the good and the bad?
I think the benefits of playing sports, especially at Ohio State, being able to go to the next level of playing in the NFL, obviously relationships, connections. I always tell even the younger guys now, like, as you're playing this game, understand the business side of it. You got to build relationships. You got to build connections, because the game don't last forever. You know what I'm saying? And when you get done playing ball, you want to be able to make that transition smooth. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always say I think we are in that group of people where it's like we turning the table for our generation, because, our parents, they may not have had the connections, the relationships that we've had. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's important for us to, take that transition the right way.
Yeah, it really maximize it. And I think for me, I mean, it had its pros, it had its cons. I think the biggest con every player, every athlete is going to have when it comes to that transition of really letting the game go.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest one.
You got to die as an athlete to be somebody new. You ain't going to be that same dude that ran a 4.4.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So of that really letting the game go, and I think one major aspect of that part being so hard is that usually for a lot of us, the game is done with us before we done with it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's like that's really some of the first times in our lives major decisions are made when we don't have no say on it.
Because I remember, Dale, you called me. You had tried for the Arena League, and you just called me out of nowhere, and you was like, "Yeah, bro, nah, I'm done. The food in the cafeteria."
Yeah, I was done. Yeah. I think, but
you
going
still
from
love
that,
the game, though.
I still love sports. I'm still around it, to this day, on some type of level. But being up there for that 4 days, I think it
That's all it
was.
took.
My boy retired quick.
Well, I wouldn't even
Didn't get
say,
to week
but I
one.
wouldn't even say it was the fact of like, oh, I don't have the love for it no more. But it was the level of competition that I was accustomed to playing at in a certain resources to having, and then they go from that to another level, a lot lower level, and I'm just like, I can't. Like the risk reward is not there.
Yeah.
So the transition for me was clearly still feel like I could still play and knowing I could still play at a high level and not having an opportunity. So clearly that's tough. But I think what really helped me transition to the real world, and I tell my guys this now, and I tell players this, if you're playing in NFL, you're playing in college, you're playing in high school, one, finding something you love to do outside of your sport. I said, you must be crazy if you're getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock to build a university or build a team's brand because you got to be there for summer workouts and all this other stuff, and you don't do that for yourself in the real world.
Got to do it for yourself.
Like, how do you give something or someone else more of you than you give yourself? So you owe it to yourself. So put that same amount of energy, if not more, into yourself, whatever you want to be. I don't care if you want to be the best mailman in the world. Well, be the best mailman in the world. Do what you got to do to make that dream a reality, just like how you trying to make, building a brand dream a reality. If it's a place like, Ohio State, or if it's a place in the National Football or professional sports, period. Because at the end of the day, Ohio State will be Ohio State with or without you.
Say that again.
You know what I'm saying? So everything you do there is going to most likely, for a lot of us, stay there. Now, don't get me wrong. You hit on the networking and opportunities like that. That's always great. And all of us has benefited from the relationships we built at a place like Ohio State. But what really made the transition great for me as well is playing a game like football, understanding hard work, dedication, sacrifice, teamwork. You need those qualities to be a part of a great team. And learning those lessons while you playing football and having fun with your guys, having immediate success right now. Because if I strict to those goals, guess what? I'm going to win that game Saturday. But now transitioning that to real life, like who don't want a partner, a wife, a husband that understand hard work, dedication, sacrifice, teamwork?
Absolutely, yeah.
Who don't want an employee or employer? So those qualities transition to real life really well.
They do.
Absolutely.
So,
and I'm with you. I think the transition for me was like everything that went into being a pro. You know what I mean? Like just the work week. You know, the body prep, the stretching, the nutrition, the weightlifting, the time away from the family. You know, when you started this game, like you're a 14, 15-year-old kid who's like, man, I want to go to the league, and like you have this kid dream, and then through this dream, you become a man, you know what I mean? And like you got man responsibilities, and then like your dream becomes a job, and it's the best job in the world if that's your dream. But I just started having like thoughts of like, well, what else do I want to do as a man? You know, what else could I be spending my time? Like you're saying, all this dedication I'm doing to a game, to where a lot of things are out of my control at wide receiver. Like,
for sure.
The offensive lineman got to block. Boom got to pick up that shark blitz.
Yeah. I got to make a good throw.
Dale got to make a good throw. And I'm doing all of this stuff, and it's still going out there for chance, and then even also the chance of getting hurt. But I love football. I loved everything about it, all the people I got to meet, the places it's took me in my life, and the relationships I formed from it. But just the consistent work of going into performance wearing on me, you know what I mean? And I think even in the regular world, like it can wear on you too. Like just the consistent performance of
a work environment,
you know, all the things that you got to do to even just like this studio, we're in this beautiful Sycamore studio, just everything that goes into prep can wear on you. And you got to find times in regular life to kind of release. You got to know when the off season is in regular life, and I think, man,
that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Off
man.
season in regular life.
You got to plan personal sabbaticals. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't call it regular life though. I would call it the real world.
The real world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because when we in this sport world that you're in as a, let's be honest,
it's not the real world.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the real world, and
it can skew your view of the real world and how people should perceive you because you got a talent.
Yeah, and I think about NIL right now. I think about that big time, where we talking about, okay, college. We as parents, one day I want to send my kids off to college to get a taste of the real world, to understand, to get a feel for what they want to do, who they want to be, if that's their decision. I knew it helped me become who I am and different views on life, but I don't believe college is for everybody, you know? So
that's right, because we ain't come to play school.
Here we go.
We ain't gonna tap into that right now.
Yeah. Man, well, you got to touch on that, man. Because
not right now.
But listen, though, but when we talk about preparing a kid for the real world, I always think about Coach Tressel. I wasn't fortunate enough to be coached by him. You know, had another great coach, Urban Meyer, but Coach Tressel approach to life was a lot different, right? His approach to his day-to-day was a lot different. And I just think about all the time, how would he and his approach be affected by the NIL landscape, right? Because like when we talk about the real world versus—
how much could he help the NIL landscape with that approach?
Yeah, but we talk about the real world versus the athletic world. You got to understand it's a very short shelf life being an athlete. And everybody's not going to be Tom Brady or LeBron James who played 20 plus years, right? And when you're done with this sport, or when this sport is done with you, most likely sooner than you want it to be, you're still a young man. Let's say you get done with college at 21, 22 years old, and you play—
so much more life.
You play 6 to 8 years professional, wherever it is. Guess what? That's considered a really good career. 6 to 8 years. That's sticking around in a professional league. But you 30 at best,
maybe
you still
30.
got 50 years, 60 years of life to live, right? How are we preparing those guys for that transition up to life? And you both talked about it. The networking opportunities, the relationships you built through that short window of time can help you with those next 50 years. So I think about guys in NIL around the country, when certain guys, it's hard for them to even get off their couch and say, yeah, I'll go to this event for an hour for $5,000. They don't like, oh no, I need more. And not saying they're greedy, not saying that, because they're ultimately, I want everyone to maximize on the name and image and their likeness that they built.
Well, to the kids now's credit, they're in a different world. Like
completely different.
Like you talk about transfer portal, NIL, but also throw COVID in there to the fact where like, I think I was having a conversation with one of the guys on the team, and I said straight up, I said, be real, keep it a buck. Shameless plug. Have you walked the Oval? He said, one of the guys have before. And it blew my mind. I'm like, they're not even, like, they're so isolated because of COVID. They taking all online classes. Obviously, they got their own cribs. You know, like we all had to stay in the dorms. We all had to walk to Sasso, walk through the Oval, go to class. Like
they don't even know what campus is.
Well, they know what campus is, but like they're not even doing in person, and so as much. So it's they're in a whole different light. So I can see how somebody can be like, nah, I ain't pulling up unless I'm getting paid. I can see that in this world, but at the same time, for us, we're like, man, I'm about to go by the AFAM building. I'm about to swing through the Union, see if I can, see something, come back.
It's so hard when we talk about stuff like that of our times versus their times, or even my time versus
we sound
you guys'
old school.
time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But think about the guys. I'm pretty sure Doss used to come back when you guys was around and talk about how it used to be, and y'all used to look like, man, you must be crazy, right? You know, it's like we got it. It's different now. This is how it is now, and I respect that time has changed when it comes to certain things, but I want certain qualities to stay intact. Like I said before, it's not many places you're going to go in the real world where you're going to make $5,000 an hour unless you're probably a brain surgeon, heart surgeon, or something like that. So my point of saying that with the athletes around the country who's really maximizing their name, image, and likeness is that, every opportunity doesn't have to be about the dollar amount. It can be about the relationships and building those relationships and nurturing those relationships. So when you decide to hang it up, it's a smooth transition.
Yeah.
So it goes back to my point really about the transition.
Yeah.
And this is all speaking from experience. It's not throwing something against the wall and say, hey, I hope you really
this is your real life.
This is how it works. Yeah.
And a quote that hit me on this subject is the same people you see on the elevator going up, the same people you're going to see on the elevator going down. So make those connections. Make sure you the same guy. Make sure you look people in the eye, network, reach out, have conversations. Just be a dude or a young lady.
Just be personable.
And just be personal. Build relationships, because in a school like this, in this landscape, when you're a college football player, basketball player, baseball player.
But I don't want you to keep comparing it to, like, I don't want you to keep saying the school like this. Like, this is not about, because what I see having an opportunity to work with a lot of different schools around the country in the NIL space, it's not a Ohio State thing. It's not. It's the times.
Oh, you're saying
it's
kids
overall. I'm talking about period. The kids who's able to capitalize on their name, image, and likeness. I'm just talking about the kids who are affected by the society now, and not in a good or bad way. Just saying this is how things are now in society. It's such a. I think it's such a. What have you done for me lately type of thing, especially in NIL, and not just at a place like Ohio State, but I think it's all over, seeing some of the common issues. I really want, like I said before, the qualities to stay intact of being personable, right? Making those relationships, right? Maximizing your NIL off the field just as much as you're doing it on the field. And I think that will ultimately help with that transition when, you hang them up one day. And I would never mention any kids' names, but we have guys that I work with around the country where I wish they would have took the advice a little bit more to heart when I'm saying, hey, really maximize these relationships in the NIL space, because you never know when that door is going to close. Don't get me wrong, everybody, we know how it is when you're at the height of your careers at places like Ohio State and the NFL. Everybody's taking that call. But when you're done, not many people taking that call.
Yeah. Well, it's also about what skill sets, what value do you bring? And I think post-football, to end on that subject, is like you got to figure out your value as a human. Like you got to figure out like what you do, because a lot, like for me, and I struggle with that. A lot of my stuff was, okay, I'm fast, I can catch, I'm a good leader.
Fast.
And, you know what I mean?
Fast.
Yeah, Dale. I'm fast.
You was known to you was a blazer?
You looking at the 2008 400-meter state champ. Like, you know what I mean?
Talk your talk.
You know what I'm saying? Just a little something. But at the end of the day, like, it's like when you leave those physical traits right? And all you have is this. You know what I'm saying? And your word. You got to be able to stand on that, and you got to be able to build off of like what that situation did to you, like what that society in college football, what that culture, how it like molded you. You got to be able to take those steps and transfer it to a new platform and to a new venture. And if you can't do that, and I think a lot of the guys that I know that struggle with life after football, the one thing, and me and Boom talk about this, like we ain't gaining homies, we losing homies.
That's facts.
You know what I mean? And so when we see guys or, hey, Boom, how he doing, man? He's straight, man. He could take care of his wife, his kids. Is he good? Like it ain't about how much money he made. It's what is his mental health like? Is he transferring them skills and that experience in a regular life? And I think, man, and me and Boom talk about this all the time, Dale, like, and I got to give you your flowers. You use it so well and your experiences, winning Natty, being who you are, that some guys might not even know how you have transitioned like that. They can't even fathom using those skills in another landscape. And I think a lot of that deals with, well, what do you bring? You know what I mean? Like you're a good talker. You're a good leader. You're going to be there on time. If you say you coming to an event, God damn it, you're going to be there. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys overcommit and underdeliver. And I think a lot of that, Boom, is doing part to the mental health and like just not knowing your value as a person.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
you've had a lot of growth. I'll tell you that.
And I appreciate that, guys. And separately, me and you had personal conversations, and he's been brought up. Me and you had personal conversations, and he's been brought up. And I go back to my very first comments when we started the show is, why this relationship happened so organically is because we share a lot of the same values. And I look at you guys and I have respect for you guys just as much as more what you have done off the field, have what you've done on the field. Clearly on the field, oh man, these guys are great. Ohio State, I want to be a Buckeye one day. Look at these guys. But really seeing you guys transition and apply a lot of things that you're talking about, and we both keep saying, to real life, to be a dad, to be husbands, to be leaders, to be business owners. And just like, no offense, is like, I'm not the jealous type. I'm more the type, shit, he can do it. I know I can do it.
Well,
he did it. Oh,
well, let me form a relationship.
I'm like, how
with
you do
him.
that?
Yeah, let me form a relationship. Yeah,
So, and then it's also a flip side of that too when we're talking about the transition, right? We talk about those qualities that we learn in that type of sport, in that team environment, especially offense. All of us play offense together. You hit on it. You can run the best route in the world, but if Boone don't pick up that blitz, it was for nothing. Or if I don't throw you the ball on time, it's for nothing.
You're going to overthrow him anyway.
Well, first off,
he's slow.
Exactly. And first off, we only throwing the ball 6 times a game. I'm getting 5 targets. I'm blocking for this motherfucker anyway.
Right, exactly. But he break through the hole, and you ain't blocking downfield. You get.
I'm gonna let him get tackled because I want to throw the fade on the goal.
But go back to all that stuff. So many things got to go right for the success of a play. People don't understand, and that's why I don't talk football I really don't talk football with people unless I'm talking to people at a high level because the way I look at the game.
It's tough to talk to a person who doesn't know the game and they just
at a high level, not
exactly.
just knowing the game because you know first down. That's not that's knowing the game,
right.
But I'm talking about a high level, right? So I'm cheering for 4 yards because we on schedule. I'm cheering for a check down. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, great decision. I'm cheering for a throwaway. Oh my God, that's great. Like I'm cheering for those type of things. So many things got to go right for a play that has success on offense. I said all the time, offense and football is also a team sport because 10 guys can do the right thing, can do the perfect thing. One guy do the wrong thing, they mess up, the play looks stupid.
Ultimate team
Vice
sport.
versa.
Yeah.
Defense. 10 guys can do the wrong thing, but the DB make a pick. Oh, that's the best play they ever did.
Yeah.
Or Joey Bosa make a sack, or one of these guys make a sack. Oh man, that's a great call. That defense again.
Most important play in football.
Most important play in football?
Yes.
The first play. I don't know.
No.
Most important play.
My most important play? Like my favorite play?
No,
not play. What's the most important thing in football? Trust used to always say
it's punt.
There you go.
Kicking. Oh, okay. I was kicking.
But you know what's better than punt?
What?
Victory.
Yeah. Speaking of victory, no, this was hilarious, man. We playing in a game.
Yeah.
I think it's 2014, 2015, one another. And not we not having.
You was getting in at the end, so
here we go. We not having garbage. You know how many victory stuff? But no. Our coach went off. This just sparked. I don't know what just made me think of this. You said victory, but we took a knee to run the half out, and it was labeled victory as we was watching film.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, victory. Man, when I say the coaches went off, like this is halftime, like victory, we're down by 10 going into half, and you got it. He went off on the intern. You got to label that as his players called victory.
Yeah.
Sound like jeez. But going back to those qualities of transitioning to the real world, it's also a lot of quality. I think that's why guys deal with a lot of mental health concerns and issues. I want to call them issues, struggles.
Yeah.
Mental health struggles is because also think about football. Think about the demand it puts on you. Think about
physically and mentally.
Yeah, think about the mental demand, right? When you're saying like, I'm sorry, when we were playing, it was no space to say, Coach, I'm having a bad day.
I need a mental day.
Pins and needles, bro.
It was no mental days. You can take a mental day now. And it's like, man, he just needs some time. Man, it's so crazy you bring that up because my football journey is crazy. Started in the league, was suspended senior year, started in the league. Played, went to Canada, then I came back to the league and then went to Canada. But my first transition from Canada back to the league, man, I'm coming off a Canadian championship, a Grey Cup, playing at a super high level. I'm feeling like personally, I get to Baltimore and just immediately walking into the facility, by the way, beautiful facility, John Harbaugh, A1 coach, got to play with Lamar. Yeah, got to play with Lamar. And I felt this immediate stress, bro. It was crazy. It was like you go from just being free, playing, knowing,
knowing that you're good,
knowing the top, knowing the options on every play. I'm in one of the three options to now I'm backside on the right. I'm on the right backside, and they doing a boot left. I'm not getting that rock. You know what I mean? And I remember coming to the receiver coach what's up? I ain't even in the read. He well, you getting the same amount of reps as everybody else. I say, bro, I feel you, but at the same time.
He hit you with the mental reps, huh?
well, at the same time, I'm I know football. I'm not the number one over. I'm the backside over. Or I'm the clear out on the mandatory outside release. I'm getting the same reps, but I'm not getting the same opportunities. And that messed with me, bro. It pissed me off to the point where it was every day I felt like I needed to do something. I needed to make a play. And in that moment I realized I was like, man, what comes with football sometimes, what I'm praying for, I always say this, the line for professional sports in heaven for prayers is real long. Everybody's saying the same thing. I want to be a starter. I want to win, be all pro. I want to go win the Super Bowl. I want to get paid. That line is so long. And just the stress of knowing man, I got the same goals as this dude. It wore on me, bro. And I just kind of made the conscious decision man, I'm going to just finish my career up here where I can be, happy
some of those
day.
stresses is in there.
Well, it's just I know how I like my coffee. I like my coffee with sugar and cream. You know what I'm saying? I don't like my coffee
with
straight.
The nipple top.
With the nipple top on the, you know what I mean? So it don't spill on me. But what I'm saying is I don't want to play special teams. I love the league, but how I want my football is how I want my football, just like how I want my coffee. And just the stress of fitting into what somebody else wants, the role you wants you to play, that can wear on you in so many ways in life to where it's affecting your outside relationships, it's affecting your personal identity. And I think, I remember, Boom, you called me in Buffalo when you had this same type of.
I was about to speak on that, man, because Dale was there,
right?
And I'm going
when Boom
coming from
Boom quit.
I text him where you at? But yo, man, listen, where are you?
Listen,
I'm done.
Bro. It was
what you mean you done?
Boom retired like Vontae Davis, rest his soul.
Man, listen,
that's the greatest. Rest Vontae Davis' soul, but man, that was the greatest retirement ever. He a legend for that.
We played.
Man, he quit at halftime. If you don't know,
we was playing against them that game.
But that's the greatest retirement ever.
We thought he got hurt. He was walking up to the walking through the thing like I'm out.
Man, rest his soul, man. He just passed away, but man, my dude quit at halftime, retired at halftime.
So I go from Indy starting, you know, my career was kind of like, you know, I played a lot of special teams. When my opportunity came, you know, at running back, you know, I kind of...
You took advantage of it.
I took advantage of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So just like you were saying, like the business side of the game, bro, is so stressful because, you know, 1 minute you could be the guy and the next minute you like on pins and needles. Like,
the guy.
Hey, is the Reaper in there? Like, am I good for this week? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I knew what time it was.
Somebody that ain't even scary. It's some nerdy dude.
I knew what time it was when I was in Buffalo, and I think this is right before the last preseason game, and I felt like I was gonna make the team.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Had a good solid preseason.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And they bring in Reggie Bush, and I'm like, me as being in the business for 5 years, I'm like, man, they about to let me go.
And first off, I get to play with Reggie Bush.
You know what I'm saying? And Reggie was cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to sit here and lie. Like, I was a huge fan growing up. So to share the locker room with him, it was cool and all, but I already knew the business side of like, all right.
You doing the numbers game already.
I'm doing the numbers game. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, they just brought bruh in. And I'm like the fourth, like most NFL teams, they keep 3 or 4 running backs.
Yeah. And that 3 or 4 is playing teams.
3 and 4 is definitely playing special teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even 2 might be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 2.
Depending. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But they signed bruh, and I'm like, all right, like, bro, I don't even think he played in the preseason game.
Nah. This is when I knew you was checked out. We go to Detroit. I think it was the last preseason game. Yeah, it was. Because it's kind of like a thing. Buffalo plays Detroit the last preseason game. But whatever. We playing, right? And we're starting.
Yeah.
We're starting.
Yeah.
Brad don't know not one play. He asked me to play every time. Like, what I got? Like, outside the runs, he killed it. But I'm talking about every pass. He's like, what side I'm on? Where I got? Like, he was just so checked out. Yeah. Like,
bro, so
I'm not even for sure if he came back with the team after that.
But that messed you up because you're like, what is he on?
Well, I think I was a rookie, not knowing the business side yet. So I wouldn't say I was messed up, but looking back on it.
You were still trying to learn, so I was messing you up.
Exactly.
You know
looking back on it, I was definitely at a point where I was just like, okay, this is cool because at least he got faith in me to ask. Right. But yeah, I still was kind of learning as I go type of situation. But it was so funny because we break the huddle. They like, what I got back? Come on this side. You got the release, whatever I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you got the flag.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, let me tell you something about y'all know. NFL offense is not no easy thing that you could just pick up, bro. You know, and
it ain't too hard.
Maybe for a wide receiver, but when you playing running back,
I don't have to worry about protection. No, I don't, and that's the hardest.
Can you
part
explain
of the game.
how hard
protections are the hardest part of the game? I give y'all that.
And name my babies. Protection. That's the first thing I do. Like when I would go to a new offense,
learn to protect.
Give me the protection because I don't want to get my head knocked off.
You don't want to get hit. Yeah,
I don't want to get my head knocked off.
And you're not fast.
Oh, here we go.
So you can't. It ain't like you a
dual threat. It ain't like run over nobody. But no, for sure though, you got
to know the
plays.
front.
Yeah.
You got it, man. Reading the blitz. So just think about it. You break the huddle. First off, everybody playing super duper fast. You break the huddle. You got to see what coverage they in. You got to see what front they in. Then I got to listen to the play. So I got to remember the play that he just said. I gotta know the route. So if it's a run play, I'm good. We Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know I'm getting the rock. But if it's a play where it's like, all right, I'm in the protection, and I know if I get him sacked or hit or even touched,
I ain't catching the ball.
You're not catching the ball. Yeah. Everybody mad at me. You know what I'm saying? But it's just so many things that go into a play that.
Yeah.
And like you said, I was out of there, bro. Like I'm like, you know, it's the last preseason game. Uh-huh. I'm used to not really playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And to start. So if you're starting in the last preseason
Hunger
game,
Games.
it's a good chance that
Hunger Games.
you either
You either fighting for that spot.
So what happened after the game? Like with your decision? Like how'd you come to that?
I knew before the game, but after the game, it was just like.
So you knew going again, this is my last football game. Because it was your last football game.
Not technically, I didn't really know. I just knew I was done in Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? Buffalo, I was done. If another opportunity came open, you know what I'm saying, which is it did, and I didn't take it, and I regret it because I was banking on myself like, you know what, I ain't gonna take this. I'm gonna test the market out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And what happened?
And that market was dead.
Wait,
bro.
what happened? What happened with the opportunity? Who came?
The Colts.
Oh, they wanted you back.
So I could have went back to the Colts.
Yeah.
But it was for league minimum. And at the time, I'm like, nah, like I feel like I
should be getting a check.
I should not even like a crazy check, but just give me something. You know what I'm saying?
Some guarantee.
Yeah. And it wasn't there. And then that's when I called you like, yo, Canada, they calling too. And at that time, I'm like, it was a pride thing. And I think we was honest about that too. I was just like, they really want me to come over here and play for this when it's like, nah, I probably could do that. I probably could make that doing something in the real world. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's when I kind of just knew like, man, it's time to go to the next step of life because football was just, I was done.
It's tough, man. You talk about that pride thing of just, clear it's a huge pay difference of Canadian and NFL.
And for me, I felt like I think I lost love for the game. Because if I loved the game like that, I definitely would have been up there with him playing.
But that's what I'm going to say, too. A lot of those things that's out of your control can kind of discourage you a little bit.
Yeah.
When it comes to that transition or coming to points of being cut or being offered league minimum. You like, because when those happen, it's human nature. You're going to be like, man, damn, this is what they think of me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or like, hold on, wait a minute. Like,
I ain't got the juice no more.
Yeah, do I? You know what I'm saying? So, but I was sitting at a poker table with some guys 2 nights ago, and they were complaining about Jamar Chase of not signing his extension or whatever and wanting $30 million or whatever the number was. And one guy was in construction, I believe, and another guy, I forgot what field he was in. I didn't engage in the conversation. But there's someone like, no, man, I'm in construction. I should be getting that type of money. I'm out here building buildings and blah, blah, blah. They shouldn't be getting that much money to play ball. You're getting 14, you complain about another 30 or whatever the case may be. And I'm just like, you don't understand the worth that they're adding value to this organization. Right. So if you're a significant entity of an organization that's a multi-billion-dollar entity, I don't care if it's sports, I don't care what it is. I mean, why do Roger Goodell get paid $50 million a year or whatever it is?
Right, and he ain't doing
exactly. But to the outside from us, he ain't doing nothing. But he's adding a lot of value to the owners, and he's their voice and all this other stuff. And then you look at a guy like Jamie Dimon. Why is he getting so much money to manage Chase and the CEO of Chase? Well, he's adding a lot of value to that industry and a lot to that brand. So I look at it as that way. Like, you got to know your value. It goes back to what you said. You got to know your value. And these athletes in a lot of these situations, sometimes our value with your experience, like, I'm not playing for league minimum because you feel like, and clearly I know from playing with you that at preseason, your value is a lot higher than the league minimum at the time. So it's hard to humble yourself and be like, I'm gonna take this.
Yeah, I wanted to switch gears here, y'all. Dale, I wanted to get a few of your perspectives on, current rookie quarterbacks. Also, who you like in today's game. Obviously, I'm gonna ask. Who won the MVP? Which rookie quarterback are you expecting to be, at the NFL award show for rookie of the year?
I know who ain't gonna be there.
Me?
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, he's not gonna be there. Unfortunately.
That's a great question. If I had to pick one rookie quarterback that I say I'm going to keep my eye on this year, I don't know if any of these guys, looking at the situation they're in right now with Daniels up in Washington, May out in New England, If what would be interesting actually if the Saints, if the Vikings can pull off that trade and get Derek Carr, and the Saints are going to go with Spencer Rattler, he's been having a really good camp. Now, if he gets the job and they pull that off, he will be my favorite to win the offensive rookie of the year.
Spencer Rattler?
Spencer Rattler.
Whoa.
The weapons that let me get to.
Whoa.
Yeah, curveball. Curveball. The guy always.
I know a lot has to happen. I'm interested to hear this. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
One is having an unbelievable camp.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start there. Actually went down to watch their joint practice. The first joint practice they had was almost 2 weeks ago. Two, the reports that's coming out about him is ridiculous. Three, having Ohio State Buckeyes on that offense, they love him. Carr is taking a role of he's going to be the starter, clearly, and more of a mentorship role, which I love him.
Wait, so Derek Carr is supporting Spencer Rattler's development?
Of course.
Spencer Rattler is going to be the starter week 1.
No, I said if Derek Carr is traded, the Vikings are trying to get Derek Carr.
Yeah.
If they pull it off, I'm picking Spencer Rattler to be the rookie of the year.
Mm.
So
I like
that's
that
what
take.
I'm saying.
That's a brave take because for me, I would go Jaden Daniels just because his offense is ready to go now.
But
he got weapons.
That's what I'm saying. The reason I'm saying this is because I like the Saints' weapons on offense better than Jaden Daniels' weapons on Washington because also you understand too, he's going to be in some tough situations this year because overall the Saints team is a lot better. So they're not going to forcibly put him he can check it down to AK and make some magic, right? I mean, he got deep threats with Olave. He got Mike. He has legitimate proven weapons, right? They still got some young guys up in. I know Terry is up there. Curtis Samuels up there. But
Samuels.
You don't want to put this kid in the same situation. You don't want to put this kid in the same situation you put Sam Holland last year throwing the ball 50 times a game. That's not a good recipe for a rookie quarterback.
I got you.
So that's the only thing I'm scared about with Washington. So if Spencer Rattler is the guy, but if he's not the guy, rookie of the year, side note here is going to, I think, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to go to Marvin Harrison.
And I was going to say, I was going to touch on the rookie wide receivers who I think was going to win rookie of the year. I think, there's a lot of neighbors talk, and there's also, and I think Leggett down in Carolina, is he gonna have a scary good year? He's just a freak athlete. He has the personality, and then I also think my dark horse is Keon Coleman. I really like
Buffalo.
that kid. He jokes a lot, but his football knowledge and what he knows about the game already at this stage is crazy. But for me to go against what I've covered with Marvin Harrison, his whole Ohio State career, because I retired and started covering Ohio State football his first year starting. And you talking about just the makeup of a true pro. He can run every route. He big as hell. He's 6'4". If he had ran the combine, he'd have ran a 4.3. He's ready now to be a top 10 NFL receiver. It's just hard for me to go against him. So my pick for rookie year is just like yours, is Marvin Harrison. Boom, I wanted to ask you about the current NFL running back landscape. I think it's fucked up what they doing to the running backs.
Of course.
And I also want to know who gonna win the rushing title this year.
I honestly, I know he's old, but with Derrick Henry going to Baltimore, I kind of like that situation because you got to stop Lamar and Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? That's it gives him opportunity to, have some different holes. You know what I'm saying? So, you got Christian McCaffrey. I think he's the best overall.
But they say there's this crazy stat that before you pick Christian McCaffrey, that if you lead the league in the NFL, you don't normally lead it the year after. It's hard to lead 2 years in a row.
Yeah. And then another thing, too, is one thing you see with the rushing champions each year is the numbers keep decreasing. Clearly this is a passing lead. One thing I'm scared about with the Henry, I love it, but I don't know if we're going to see the same Derrick Henry, not in the age. I don't think. It's so crazy. Dude is 28, 29 years old. We're talking about old. That's how not real football That's how.
You think that car reached its mileage?
Exactly, but
Yeah.
that's how crazy we talk about the sporting world. We call somebody old at 29 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, you're old. You need to do something else, right?
Yep.
But he's a downhill runner, not like an inside zone read, a lot of that stuff. But clearly, they're going to make the exception and make some changes for him. I just don't know with the ability with the other two running backs in the room and Lamar running ability, is he's going to be like. Is they going to lean? He's not going to have to do as much he had to do in Tennessee as far as the run game. That's what I'm trying to say. So not by ability, just by availability. I don't think he's going to have the crazy numbers. I think he's still going over 1,000 for sure.
I'll tell you. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be like crazy numbers. I'll tell you who I really like. Maybe because I live in Detroit, but dude is a dog. Everybody was surprised when Detroit took him. I think 11 or 12.
Jameer Gibbs.
He's got hurt
special.
though.
He just got
him and Bijan are special.
Yeah, he's got hurt.
that 1-2 punches.
Could Bijan be the rushing title this year?
Ooh,
I mean, he could.
Atlanta.
They made some moves defensively. They just got Judon.
Yeah.
They just got Justin Simmons. I really like what they're doing as a team. That was my favorite pick of the draft. Like I'm
Me too.
I'm all about.
Penix.
And I'm all about quarterback. I don't want to go too far, but I'm all about quarterback development.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I like when teams have plans for a vet to usher in the next 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
I think the Falcons they like what Raheem Moore did. He locked in his coaching. Like, he's going to be there for the length of Penix's career.
Exactly. And the great thing about that, and we can wrap it up on this and let you have the last closing comments, is that what Atlanta did this last couple of years with their draft, they solidified their future, I think, with a young talent.
Absolutely.
Drake out of USC receiver.
Kyle Pitts,
Bijan, and now Michael Penix.
Yep.
All young guys, all within 3 years apart, right?
Yep.
And you're going to find a way to keep them on. And Michael Penix Jr. might have the best job in the world right now. He clearly he's not going to be started this year. They gave Kirk Cousins on some. It's no pressure. Guess what he's going to be doing as there's no pressure on him? Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
And
then when it's finally, exactly.
Yeah.
And then he's going to pull almost a move as such as my kid in Green Bay just did. Jordan Love.
Yep.
1 year, now your highest paid quarterback in the league. Highest paid player in the league. But no. Is it deserving? I'll let you guys figure that out. But what I'm saying is Michael Penix Jr. going to hit the market at the perfect time and basically say, hey, all you got to do is perform for 1 year. Michael Penix throw for 3,500 or 4,000 yards. He'd be the highest paid quarterback in the league going into his following year.
By that time,
easily, because it'll be the market.
By that time, what they going to be paying by about 250, 300?
Yeah,
they're going to be paying, say, 3 years. So they both got 4-year deals, right? Kirk Cousins and him. So let's say Kirk Cousins do his last 4 year. Penix play on his 5th year, pick up his 5th year option. Yep. He throw for 35 to 4,000 yards. He's going to be making $75 million a year.
Yeah, that's crazy. Another. I like Josh Jacobs going to Green Bay.
I do too. Yeah.
I think that's. I think he's gonna do numbers there. Yeah. I mean they let go of a great running back, but I think he's just as good or maybe even better. Yeah. But I think they, like I said, Green Bay, they might be in the mix. You know?
Maybe. I mean, up there in Detroit, and so you'll see them in your neck of the woods. Yeah, Detroit win the conference?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you guys, man. I think this is definitely has been long overdue for us to finally get together and make this happen. Looking forward to what the future holds for us and the unbelievable guests that we got lined up. And until next time, man, appreciate you guys.